Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So it's funny, the past few days I've been working on a couple different videos and none of them worked. Turned out to be a complete waste of time. And so I was about to just call it off this week, but for some reason I woke up today and Voodoo Child was in my head, so I was like, well, let me just play it and see what happens. And then I thought, well, I could maybe show you guys the signal chain and talk about maybe trying to get that tone or some tips around that tone. Stevie Ray Vaughan is an idol of mine, and I've probably hashed this stuff out many times on this channel, but here's another one. So it's fairly simple, really. I mean, a couple pedals and an amp, and I think the secret is really in the playing and the nuances of Stevie's playing, and of course his hands, but what does that really help? The first thing, obviously, my 59 Strat, and my favorite guitar for doing bluesy stuff, slab board, Brazilian rosewood neck, original electronics, all that jazz. So really, if you're gonna play this kind of thing, you wanna have a rosewood fretboard to start. And then that actually runs into a Vox wah, a 60s. And you know, I've seen videos, it seems like pretty much Stevie ran into the wah first and then the rest of the chain. So you can try it both ways. I've done it both ways, and it might give you a slight different tone or it might not. I don't know. It's just something that you got to try and figure out which way works for you. But yeah, it's a late 60s wah, I believe. And then that runs into a reissue 808, actually, that I've had since I was like 15 years old. It was the first real pedal that I ever bought, and it's been modded by Keeley Electronics. Fixed, really. It's a great pedal. It's just something that's kind of sentimental to me, so I keep using, even though there might be something better out there. So then that runs into my Blackface Super Reverb, and I dialed back the volume a little bit because recording in here, I say that, but to you guys, it's probably beyond crazy. But recording, trying to pick up the sounds, it just gets real muddy and, you know, distorted the louder you go, and it's hard because I really need to play at a certain level to get the feel that I need, but then trying to capture that through recording is very difficult. So I think you guys actually hear, you know, kind of a different version than real life. I mean, obviously, but it's especially when you're playing loud, it's really hard to capture, I think. So I turned it down to about 4 on the volume, and that seemed to help get a better recording sound. But really, you know, if you could, you might want to go louder than that. But that's actually running into a 2x15 JBL cabinet from 69 about. So I think it has D130s in it, and they just sound really great, and they seem to hold up even at higher volume, but really at low volume they shine and they're just clean and sparkly. Really nice sounding cabinet. But a couple tips that might interest you guys. Getting that wah sound at the intro, what I found is rolling the volume off a little bit actually gives you a cleaner and a tighter wah tone, because with the volume all the way up and the tube screamer running and everything, the wah just gets like this really gainy sound. And if you like, I'm pretty sure I've seen Stevie on stage, you know, like dialing his volume in on the guitar to get those tones, and then, you know, coming back up to really get into the song. So that's one tip for me. I roll the volume down for the intro, and for the kind of scratchy, funky wah part at the beginning, doing that as well, it just gives you a better tone for the wah sound. And then, you know, the rest of it from there, there's some feedback and long sustained notes that, you know, really you can only get from volume if you want it to sound natural. But there's this one lick where he, you know, plays the note on the second fret of the G string and then just lets it ring out and into this feedback, and then with the selector switch just go back and forth. You know, seeing Stevie do that back in the day was just the coolest thing. But it's hard to do that when you're not you know, playing a stadium or something with your amps turned all the way up. But that's one trick that he did as well. If you're still watching at this point, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the tones. If you did, maybe drop me a comment. That always helps. In other news, this Firebird right here, 64-ish, I'm going to have a video on that coming early next week, I think. I've done as much research as I can, and I've got a cool story, so it'll be something to share. And then someday I'll fix that Bigsby Telecaster and do a final video on that, maybe by next week as well. We'll see. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a great weekend, great week. Stay safe and try to stay sane as well. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, guys, peace.